All right. So we are welcoming for the first time to this stage Jeffrey Powell, who has a number of different, characteristics. He is an amazing dancer. He's an amazing teacher. He's an adventurer. He can sew. And tonight, he's going to be talking about the altruistic art of acceptance. So I'm going to turn over the mic because I have no idea what he's about to talk about, but it's bound to be interesting. Y'all welcome Jeffrey Powell to the stage.
Hello. I'm going to start down here because I'm going to do this a little artistically. First of all, I need everyone to know that I have been enraged for the past 24 hours. So while I'm about to speak about acceptance, just know I'm struggling with some acceptance right now, which is appropriate for my talk. My life has been a lot of dark. I've battled with abuse in my family, luckily never towards any of us children. I have battled with drugs and alcoholism. I was raped at 19. I have stolen, I have lied, I have cheated. I haven't been an awesome person all the time, but who is? But I have always been a spiritual person. I am anti-television and anti-movies. I am anti-social media, except for when it's dating sites. I am a vegan who eats eggs at my own discretion, not at yours, not your coercion. I eat what I want, when I want to. I also wear leather. And I'm standing up here on this stage today to talk to you about acceptance. And there are 3 points of acceptance that I find are extremely important. Number 1, self-acceptance. Because if we're going to believe that the I am is the truth and the way, if I am not willing or not able to accept myself for who I am, I can't accept any of you. And I cannot accept things that happen to me. And I'm not going to, honestly. Because I have to know me. And I have to understand me. And I have to understand my beauty and my ugly. So many people, and hopefully it's getting less and less, but so many people just spend their entire lives denying and refuting the pieces about themselves that they don't like. There's a lot of pieces about myself and my experiences that I don't like, but here they are, right here in front of you. I started off with I'm raging. There are plenty of times where I am lazy, and there are plenty of times where I am so hyperactive and trying to get everything done, and I am just waiting for all of you to just kind of hurry up and pick up the pace. But here I am, my beauty and my ugly. I was going to put some of that ugly on the outside, but I didn't get a chance to do that because I was dealing with work stuff and still had to pick up my child and get here and feed the child, and there's a lot of things that happen in life. Humans, as adaptable as we can be, are just really unwilling to change. And I understand that because I am one of those ones that's the most unwilling to change. I don't really feel comfortable with change. In fact, I don't like it. Do not ask me to change my ways or my views or who I am. Because 2 weeks later, I'll tell you that your idea was great, but I will not tell you it was your idea or that that's why it was great. Because now it's my idea. It just took me a while. And as adaptable as we can be, we struggle with just accepting that there is a flow to this life. And there are points to this life that we're never going to grasp. And so I want to come to you today and I want to speak about acceptance. My article, my talk, is the altruistic art of acceptance. It's an art form that I do not have down. I don't think I will before I die. I hope to, but I don't think I'm going to do it. But it is an art form. You first got to be able to accept yourself, because you're not going to be able to accept anything else outside of it. Outside of you, if you don't like you, and you don't have to like all the parts, you just have to acknowledge that there's some parts that you just don't want to change, even though you don't want them to be there, or there's parts of you that like you do want to change and you just really can't. It's not within your capacity, at least at this moment. And that's okay. And then number 2 is accepting others. And I encourage all of you to bring your ugly to this place, because there is no safer place to have your ugly just on the outside. And you know what you're going to get? Hugs and laughter and cheers and praise. Not for the ugly necessarily, because the ugly is the minimal part of you. So there's no point in hiding it, because these people, even at their worst, are gonna smile and go, things are gonna get better, even at their worst, because that's what we do here. And then there is the acceptance of life happening to you. In 12-step programs, they say life on life's terms. Because we as humans, we just really can't grasp the fact that we're not in control. I just did all these things. Why is there this car wreck just destroying my life today? I mean, it's really not destroying your life, but like in that moment, it really is destroying your life, and like that's how you feel, and like you didn't understand you were rocking the world 5 minutes ago, and now all of a sudden, like your whole world is just upside down because of traffic. Traffic is a terrible thing. Let's manifest that away. Let's work on that one. But I want to start with me. I just dished my ugly out. I want y'all to know that I've always been on this path. And then I've seen people personally in my life that haven't always been on that path. But there's a light in everyone. And if you can teach them to love themselves, and you can teach yourself to love yourself, there's growth happening. We can't avoid the growth. We're gonna grow regardless. It's gonna happen regardless. Some of us just grow a little more quickly, and some of us just grow a lot slower. But it can be assisted along. Acknowledge your ugly, and acknowledge your beauty. Acknowledge your beauty first. Not from your ego. Like, don't just be like, oh, well, I'm just Superman and I can conquer the world. And I've got all of this, and I've had all of this, and all of this has always been everything mine. No, don't acknowledge that beauty. Acknowledge the fact that I really work well with others. Acknowledge the fact that I can get on this stage and I can dance so phenomenally that I can get a round of applause. Or I can sew, and I'm not that great at it, but I have the talent. It just needs some nurturing, needs some growth. You gotta work on things. Not everything is just gonna be your most inherent capacity, but acknowledge your good, acknowledge your beauty, acknowledge the beautiful things that make you who you are. And then also acknowledge the ugly. Tell yourself, oh, man, I don't like the fact that I'm an alcoholic. I don't like to drink and drunk dial everybody in my phone book. I don't like to wake up the next day and go, oh, what did I do? What did I do? And even though, like, luckily for me at least, like, I do remember what I did, but that's why I'm going, what did I do? some people don't. Like, you don't want to wake up like that. But it's okay. It's okay because lots of people do. Lots of people wake up that way. And you know what? I did that with drugs too. Guess who got me off drugs? Me. No 12-step programs, no recovery. I was addicted to meth for 12 years. I didn't go to a doctor. I didn't go to a meeting. I have been to meetings, but like that's sole and separate. Like I did not seek outside help. You know what helped me? Me. And deciding one day, I can't live like this. But until you want to decide you can't live like this, just enjoy the parts of it that are still fun. Even if they're not fun, you're getting something out of it. And when you're ready, you're ready. And that doesn't just apply to addictions. It applies to everything. When you are ready to stop being lazy, you'll stop being lazy. You just will. You will figure it out. Or Spirit will help you figure it out. Accepting others. Other people can be so irritating. They're so irritating. Oh man, that guy just cut me off in traffic. You know I drive every day during the weekdays after picking up Cass from school, because he has the YMCA after program. Every day, I'm driving from the Woodlands down Gosling, and there's that part where it merges into one lane. And there are just all these jerks that are just speeding by while the good people are just waiting in dead stop traffic. And all these jerks are just speeding by in the lane that merges. And I want to get out and punch most of them, but I don't. And I have to wonder, why do you think that that is okay? I mean, you're clearly ruining my life on purpose, like, obviously. Like, I mean, even your bumper stickers say, like, I am here to ruin Jeffrey Powell's life on purpose. Clearly, all of you are here to do that. So, but then some of you, like, even though you have the bumper sticker, like, some of you probably just don't drive that route every day. Or maybe one of you is really late to pick up your child from the opposite side of town that I'm picking up mine, and you're about to get in big trouble with daycare because you're going to be severely late. Or one of you's got a wife that does not drive and has no car, and she is stuck at home, and she said, hey, I'm in labor, like, can you please come get me? Or maybe it's more severe. Hey, I just cut my finger off, can you please come get me? And ambulances aren't as quick as humans are most of the time. Like, you can usually get there as a person before an ambulance can get there. But even if not, like, we're going to care about our loved ones, and we're going to do everything we can to either meet them at the hospital or get there before the ambulance can. Like, why wouldn't we? Or maybe that person is just trying to make it to work. Has anyone in here, okay, Peggy probably has it, but has anyone else in here been so late to work so many times that your job's on the line? A lot of us have experienced that. I mean, it's their choice. It was their life choices. But this is what's causing that urgency for them. They're cutting you off in traffic. They're making you feel like your whole day is ruined, when really they're just trying to make sure that they don't lose the bread on their table. And then there are people that do some pretty terrible things. There was a lady a long time ago, I guess 5 or 6 years ago, I'm not quite sure, maybe not quite that. I think it was before I found this place, so it had to have been about 5 or 6 years ago. 6 or 7 years ago even. She was at the zoo with her child, and she dropped that baby into an animal pit. I do not recall which one it was, and it was mauled to death. This one was raked over the coals. She was given legal ramifications for what was probably already tearing her up inside. I mean, imagine losing a child. Like, that's going to eat you up inside. I don't even know that there are that many parents that don't love their children. Even the ones that do horrible things to their children, I can't imagine that they don't love them. I can just imagine that they don't know how to love. And so I'm sure it was already eating her up inside. Humans just feel guilt, unless they just don't have the capacity for emotions at all. Humans feel that guilt. So was she a neglectful, drug-addicted mother? I mean, it's possible, but why was she at the zoo with her child in the first place if she didn't really care about her child? Was she running from an abusive husband, and every little noise scared the crap out of her and caused her to jump? And yeah, why did you have your child on the railing? Okay, but, well, I mean, if she's under that much pressure, maybe she's not thinking clearly. Maybe she was just an excellent, upstanding poster child for motherhood and spending a good day with her baby at the zoo. But her dad, she knows, is dying in the hospital currently. And she's under this severe pressure, just waiting for that phone call of, he's gone. And so she's distracted. She's not there. She's not present with her child. She's trying to be. She's just not in the capacity to do that right now. And so she made a horrible, grave mistake that is already going to eat her alive for the rest of her life. We don't know. We won't know. I mean, most times. Sometimes we'll know. But we won't know. And even if she was that horrible, drug-addicted, neglectful mother, why was she that way? Did her parents molest her in the shower? Was she beaten every night for everything that she did, good and bad? What made her think that this life was okay? What made her make these choices? I mean, they're her choices. No one forced her hand. But humans run from their problems. It's a really easy thing to do. I love running from mine. Books and sleeping are my favorite ways. Drinking is probably the third favorite. It's not for us to understand the why. And it's really not for us to judge in the first place. It's just for us to go, that was a horrible act that happened. That was horrible something that happened. And we know we don't want that anymore. And you know how you fix that? You love everyone. You love everyone because that's what they deserve. And because that's the most healing way to make those horrible people not be horrible. Because 90% of the time, actually, if we're going to psychological science, 99% of the time, they're not horrible people. They're broken and damaged, or they're just average, wonderful people that had a horrible mistake. You don't know. You don't know me. I unleashed my ugly right here on this stage. Battled with depression, battled with bipolar, battled with ADD, drugs, alcohol. Some of these things I still deal with. Luckily not the drugs. Got away from several things really well. Some of you out there do know all these things about me, and you still love me anyways. And some of you even more. Because my beautiful is more important than my ugly. And my ugly isn't just a choice. And then we got to get to a point where, and this I think is often can be more difficult than accepting our own selves, because accepting people is just really irritating. But I just listed all the excuses, and any of us can do that. We can make up excuses for people. Half of us do it all the time, or people that are really just toxic for us and we really don't need in our lives, and we're just making up excuses anyways. They're just having a horrible day, or they're just not okay right now, or whatever. We could make excuses all the time, which is great. That is, we are practicing acceptance in that way. What we're not practicing is acceptance for ourselves, because we're not accepting what is good for us and what is bad for us. But, that's accepting others. Maybe that's the easiest one. But still, that's why the foundation is going to be self-acceptance, because you just can't accept anything else outside of yourself if you can't accept yourself first. But accepting life events that just happen to you. Things like death. Why did he or she have to die on me? Why is it your business? Did you have the button? If you had the button and you were able to change that, then you know the why. But if you didn't have the button, even if Lisa had the button, you're still not gonna know why. She can tell you why. We're not really gonna know why, because it's still her reasons, her process. But she doesn't have the button. No one has the button for death. There's only one that has the button for death. It's not anyone in this room, not anyone on this planet. It is this planet. It is this room. It is everything. And it's just part of the cycle. Or let's just say that you are manifesting. You are treating. You are praying. You are visioning. You are working hard in every single way to make a romance or a promotion or a new house or a new car or some cat litter happen. Let's just say that you're just doing everything as far as you have been taught and as far as you are aware, everything that you know to do to demonstrate this reality that is your heart's desire. Let's just use this. Let's take the. You know what? Let's go back to my ugly. Let's take this romance one. Let's just pour more of my ugly on this stage. I was doing everything I could do. Really for years, but then I spent 1 year. Everything I could do. I was visioning, I was affirming, I was treating. I have this wonderful relationship. I am with a wonderful person. Everything. Every single bit. I wrote journals. I did vision boards. There was nothing that I didn't do to try to manifest this relationship that I still don't have. But I thought I had it. I had it almost. At the bar? I know. Let's go back to that self-acceptance part. Yeah. I was at the bar and I'm sitting down the way from just the perfection, at least physical perfection, of what I wanted. And we are making eyes at each other. And this story just continues on through months. And a lot of my friends even thought I was crazy. Because they weren't in my shoes. They weren't experiencing what I was experiencing. They didn't know what I was going through. Or maybe I am crazy. I guess we'll never know. Again, accepting me, and I guess you're going to have to accept me because I'm up here right now. So I guess we'll never know. But I was feeling this. I was experiencing this. I was making out with this in the parking lot. And nothing. Zip. I fell madly in love, and then I was destroyed. I was destroyed. At least I thought I was. I was destroyed at the point I was just blurred for human content. To you, gods, to you, spirit, to you, divine, it's the one thing I've wanted. One thing I wanted. Minus all the other things, like the laundry list of desires. But it's the one thing I wanted today and yesterday and the day before. Not that one day, because then I wanted a job. But all those other days. It's what I needed. It's what I needed to be alive. It's what I needed to be free. It's what I needed to be happy. That's what I needed to be me. And it didn't happen. And I'm still here. Or, let's go to the promotion thing. Something everyone can relate to. Because some of you have had your love for long times. We got two couples right here as an example. And some of you just don't care. Like, man, I'm okay with it. Like, I like being me, and I'm so happy to be single. I'm gonna answer to anybody. Yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough. But a promotion, almost everyone can relate to that. There's more of those material dollars, more of that like ego status, more of that confidence, more of that like, this is where I am. And you've been trying for that. You've been working for it. I mean, literally the footwork. You have been doing the footwork. And once you've done the footwork long enough, then you go into that spiritual work and you're like, I'm going to make this happen. I am going to get this promotion. I have been goaling for this job for so long now. And you vision and you pray and you treat and you go to practitioners and you are doing everything you can do. Everything that everyone else can do. And then you get fired. Well, then you find out, maybe you find out, or maybe you don't find out, that several months later, the person who was put in that position was framed by a superior for embezzlement, and they're in prison for a long time, or until they get a good enough attorney to get them out. And then, whew, you missed it, barely, and you're grateful. Maybe you don't find that out though, so you may never know. Or you do find out for sure that, holy cow, if I had gotten that promotion and never been fired, I would never have found out that not only do I have a knack for, but I have a passion for real estate, and I am now enjoying a successful and prosperous life, doing something that I love. But you were manifesting that promotion, and you got it. You just didn't get it the way you wanted it. So I'm bouncing around a little bit because I thought I was going to take this in a different direction, and I didn't from the article that I wrote. But back to a little bit of acceptance. Well, this is still acceptance of life circumstances. But it's also acceptance of others. We're going to blend a little of the two together. Your boss holds an impromptu meeting 10 minutes before you're supposed to leave. And that meeting lasts 30 minutes or so. And your child is waiting for some important auditions. Whatever those are, or tryouts, however it may be. And that meeting has caused you to be late. Okay, a little late's fine. Like, this isn't the end of the world. You skip the McDonald's run, you go hungry, like, we're going. And there's an accident. Because somebody with a bumper sticker that said they were ruining your life on purpose decided they were going to hit somebody else that also had a bumper sticker that was dedicated to ruining your life on purpose. I mean, there's a lot of these bumper stickers out there. I see them every day. I usually yell at them. I'm not very happy in traffic. I try to get on the phone so I can avoid that. Mostly the eardrums of the person I'm talking to get blown out. But, so, these two idiots with that bumper sticker, they have just run into each other, and then now they have blocked all of 45, which I just want to sidebar here, and I must say that, like, 45 used to be a nightmare, and it has been quite pleasant in the past, like, I don't know, 6 years? I'm not quite sure when it started, because, like, my various work trips have varied, but I'm very grateful for 45 now, where 45 was one of the freeways I used to avoid. But anyways, now 45 is backed up, and you really just kind of want to die a little. And you get there to pick up your child, and it's too late to go to the school. You're not going to make it. It's really important to your child. These auditions were really important, and you really also want your child to succeed, and your child is talented at this, and you just thought, like, this is where it's at. This is the spot. This is what I need for my child, and this is what my child needs for their life. And you may find out 6 months down the line, those people that made those auditions and they got into the group went on a competition trip, and the bus got in an accident. Some died, some were injured, some were fine. But which one of them would have been your child if you hadn't been late that day? You don't know. And you will never know. Or you may never, ever know. In fact, I would be willing to bet you will never know, but you might put two and two together, that if your child had made those auditions, let's just pretend they're a choir for now, and became a famous singer, just pursued that because they did so well. They beat every competition, they were the star there, they went to college, to star there, went off to the opera, did all things, and your child has a great, wonderful, happy, successful life. And that's wonderful. But your child also was not bored and sitting at home or sitting in some library, wherever. Your child was going to get the inspiration to go off to be a doctor that cured cancer. So you just killed thousands of people by wanting your child to make these auditions instead of that child curing cancer, which you couldn't have known, so really not your fault. But we pray and we treat for horrible things to stop happening. We don't want war. We don't want shootings. But do we really not want these things? A school shooting could happen. It's a really horrible thing. I would imagine all of us would unanimously vote that we would not like any school shootings to happen. But are we certain we would not like them? One of those children that died, or teachers, the family member thereof, is so profoundly changed by that event that they later go on to make significant positive changes in our world because of that event that does make the world better. Another one was going to grow up to make Hitler look like a little princess, just sitting on her throne. But they're not now. You don't know. You will never know. Hindsight is often 20/20. But we are not in control. We are only co-creators. There is only one that will ever know what's going to happen far in the future. There's only one that will ever know where the domino effect ends. So while we're angry, while we're sad, while we're moping, while we're wanting and wishing, while I am wanting and wishing, while you are wanting and wishing, it's not happening for a reason. And it's not because your treatments are wrong. It's just because there's a part of this that we will never grasp. Infinite minds will never understand. Or finite minds will never understand the infinite. And so we accept. I love you.